There is a famine in the land, they say. But the famine isn't just financial, it's of authenticity and authority, if that makes sense. Because everyone can teach you how to trade, but not everyone can tell you how it changed their life. Nor do they like, failing in front of people. It's Good Friday. I've actually had a pretty good Friday. My future husband just came by. We had a great time. Played some Uno with the kid, my little 8-year-old Aubrey. And I don't know why I just began all these life lessons in Uno with her because it's almost like I gotta teach her something, right? Because it's like when I think about life, it's like I always hear oh, well, I hear two things, right? One thing is maybe someone started in the industry before me and then they didn't get like what they wanted as far as the results. But I don't know. I don't know what their behavior is, why the fuck they did or did not get what they wanted out of life because I get everything that I want. Sometimes it's not like right in the moment, but eventually it happens. So it's just like I always hear I remember when she started da 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 da, and then they can't believe the results, and then I'm just like, bitch, you ain't gotta believe it. It's right here. Or I get the people didn't get to see me like learn how to trade, but it's just like the way that I think, I'm not afraid to fail in front of people. I'm not afraid to be wrong. So it's just like the game Uno. And I didn't realize, I think the more I like spend time with my daughter, it makes me realize kind of what everybody else in the world is thinking too. Because it's like I gotta teach her how to lose because she don't have no struggle in her life. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like if I know how I was raised and I didn't have anything in the beginning, so I'm grateful for everything that I have now. And then even the structure and support and systems and shit, discipline that I have now is completely different than how I grew up. So it's things that I put into play. Like, I mean, but even thinking about that before we talk about Uno and everything, I'm just a natural leader because I can guarantee you I could take her to the park. And if there's like a little volleyball sand place, all the kids want to go play in the sand, not necessarily volleyball, but they want to play in the sand. So we go play in the sand. Most of the time, the adults, we standing on the edge. They stand on the edge. Sometimes I stand on the edge too, but it's really just what I'm feeling for the day. If I stand on the edge, it makes the adults kind of, okay, all the adults on the edge, standing in the grass, we're just watching the kids play in the sandbox, right? But I noticed too, if I decide I'm gonna sit in the sand, then it's like I don't have to ask nobody if I'm gonna sit in the sand. I don't have to see nobody else sit in the sand. I'm gonna sit in the sand with my kid because I know she wanna go through the sand and look at rocks and shit, and I'm just gonna dig in the sand with her, even though I don't want to because I don't like bugs. Last time I was digging in the sand, there was a goddamn beetle in there, and I ain't want to do it no more. So, but that's. Like, I don't look like anything that I came from. So it's just important for me to kind of help you guys realize that it's okay if you aren't where you want to be right now, because only thing that's stopping you is the persistence and resilience and just not being afraid to fail because it's like I was playing Uno with my daughter after my man left. And we playing. And yesterday, first off, I told you I played 52 times a day with her because she homeschooled. She ain't got nobody to play with. She only child. So unless I'm popping out some more kids right now, I gotta play with her. And she can homeschool groups and stuff like that too. But homeschool is new to me because I went to public school and I turned out great. And to be honest, it's not like I just went out of my way to homeschool because I'm in charge of my life. It's just like different decisions come about and they make me take a different route. So the route that made me start homeschooling in the first place, that it all worked out great. We going into the second year of this homeschool thing, and I mean, nothing I've ever experienced. So it's just like I only homeschooled because the school was trying to play in my face. So it's just like, okay, lady, the one thing I need you to understand is that this was my daughter. She came out my coochie in 2017, and your ass was not there. And if I take my daughter out this motherfucking school, she is still my daughter, and she is nobody to you. He's a stranger on the street. You cannot call her fucking name, right? And then it's just like schools, they kind of try to overpower their authority, and because they're not used to people fucking challenging it. that's the famine in the land because it's just like because I've changed my life so much to where looking at me in person, I'm just a black bitch with red hair, right? And I'm short too. I'm only like 5'4", 5'5" some days. You gonna see me in Crocs, got thick thighs. I look great though, right? But I don't look like I have a construction company. I don't look like I have real estate. It don't look like I trade and turn little money into big ass money, turning water into wine. I don't look like that shit until they start talking to me and like, okay, then they start kind of getting, got to give me the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, this bitch might know somebody or know somebody that knows somebody because why she not scared of us? I've done too much in this world, but the experience I have, I assume everybody else have those experiences too, but we all on different paths, so your journey might be different. So it's easier for me to just get up here and talk to people because at this point it's just like I've overcame so much. It's time for me, I mean, I guess to testify on how God changed my life and how I shouldn't be here, but I am here. So I'm here to help y'all up the mountain. If you want to be helped, like I used to more try to push people into the success, but I'd rather tell you what made me choose success because it's easier to have people that relate to me follow what I'm saying than try to get somebody that likes Asian food to eat at a Mexican restaurant. If they don't like Hispanic food, they're not going to eat Hispanic food. And so that's the gist that I am going to take on this route. On like y'all, a lot of people, most of the world probably didn't watch me learn how to trade, but you're watching me figure life out, from here on out. Y'all have been watching me figure life out since I was 24. That's when I started teaching, 24, 25. But it's just like the more results I get, the more students that are successful I create, the more shoulders I touch. Because touching shoulders at this point is a choice, but the more shoulders I touch, more relationships I build, the more structure, the more receipts, the more I feel like powerful I become because I can kind of help y'all figure out things that I wasn't able to have guidance on. Does that make sense? So yeah, I mean, let's start with me coming back. Came back after like an 8, 9 month hiatus in like November 2025. I had took off last April 2025. All kind of shit was going on, but I was already teaching for like we had like 5 years. So I just basically took the year off, came back November, and I've been trying to teach the world how to trade or at least watch me trade so that you guys can have more like a proper understanding with things. But it's just like through well, let me say this. Between November and now, it's like I've been able to build accounts by myself, but then with the public, it's become more difficult, right? So even though I'm on YouTube now, like talking because YouTube's kind of like a new side for me, I how can I say this? I don't know. I'm more of an introvert, but I can speak. I'm very good at speaking and relating to people because I did serve tables. And I'm not a boring person at all. That's why YouTube actually works because I can actually tell the full story more than like 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 minutes on IG or Facebook, right? So it's just like my background is most people understand the background of my mom being schizophrenic now, but that's not something that I always talked about because it was something that hurt me. But it's just like you gotta understand, I would speak on like lately on when she was having an episode, but then they don't understand that whenever she was normal, it still wasn't good because like I could tell you about the first $100 I ever made, and I was working at Mimi's Cafe, and I was like a hostess at that time, and my check was like $115 and she took 100 of it. So it's like I always paid my way, I felt like, through life, if that makes sense. So most people, they get to my level and they feel like they got to take care of their parents, so on and so forth. Even when my mom was well, I never felt like that because she always mistreated me. And it's just like I could tell you about hella goddamn times. My first time ever going to jail was because she didn't do my homework. But back then I didn't think something like I didn't think she was schizophrenic or nothing. I never heard of that shit before. I just like this bitch is crazy. Not to call my mom a bitch, and then, but this is crazy. I'm like 15, 16 years old, and she called the cops. We getting into a full goddamn fist fight and shit. She choke slamming me, putting me against the wall and shit. Right? And it's all her fucking homework. So it's like, yes, that's probably like maybe that was when the schizophrenia back then was happening, but you gotta think about even after she got her medicine and shit like that, there was like a time to where I tried to go back and live at home because I moved out early when I was like 18 years old because I mean, the childhood was already traumatic. I tried to get the fuck on as soon as I could, and like my graduation day, I had an apartment. I never took like SATs or anything like that because I didn't care about college. I wanted to get the fuck on. You know what I'm talking about? So it's just like I had considered going to UNT at first for college, but they had like, if I remember right, this rule back then to where freshmen got to stay on campus, and there's probably a way to get past that, of course, but I didn't know. My only goal back then was just to get the fuck on at 18 when I was old enough to go. So I was working two jobs in high school, moved out at 18, and then once I got older, there was a season kind of closer to COVID. Well, it was COVID. And that's why I moved back because everyone was scared and nobody knew how, things was going to work out. So, 2020, they convinced me to go back because I was already about to, switch arms and stuff like that. And we see how COVID panned out, so on and so forth. But then it's like towards the tail end of that shit, she already diagnosed with schizophrenia at this point in time because she got diagnosed in like 2017. So 2020, she's already diagnosed, she already taken her medicine. Shit normal, right? You would think she'd be good. Swell. No, that's just who she is. So I've always grown up fast. It don't matter if my mom was having an episode or whether she was well, it just was something that never worked out. So I was never a person that became who I became. Was like I got to buy my mama house. Got da, 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 da. I tried to be that, but then certain situations that happened that would make me make a different decision. So I don't look like I have multiple companies, but I got a goddamn construction company. But I got the construction company because of real estate. Then I mean I started with trading, and then I only started teaching because I had already learned how to trade. But it's just like you got to understand that shit not gonna look it's not gonna look like the way you gonna think it look because I would have never thought this is what it would have looked like. And I actually tried to get on YouTube in like 2023, but it's like I didn't have the courage to talk on YouTube about different things, but it's just like it doesn't matter because I am very interesting, but I assume everyone has all this crazy shit happen in their life like I do. So to sit here and say that I've created 7 millionaires since 2019 is completely different. And then the more I get comfortable, the more I can say about different things, but it all ties back to trading, made it a very personal journey to where I had no choice but to dig deeper into myself over and over again. Like, because like I used to serve tables. I would have never been on the journey of self-serving tables. We was on a journey of one night stands, drinking, smoking, having a great time, not planning for the future. But shit changed. Got fired from there um, to where I was partying and shit, and then my whole life was just a path on left for right, left for right, and then really the path started with trying to replace the income at Papado Seafood Kitchen because I was making like 100K a year, shit there as a server because I was like 19, 20 years old. So I think I stayed there. That was like the longest job I had overall because like after they fired me, and I deserved to get fired. Me and my baby daddy, we was fist fighting in the goddamn like dining room and on Christmas. It was Christmas, on Christmas Eve. So we deserved to get fired, but at the time that shit hurt, and I felt like I don't know, it just hurt because I lost everything, and I didn't have no way to get anything back until I started a job. So the journey started with trying to replace that income, thinking that all restaurants are the same. Like y'all be thinking all traders are the same, and we not. Because most traders are not okay with failing in front of y'all. And that's what I was teaching my daughter today. Because I mean, it's a chill family day. We in crypto, but the other side of the market, for the most part, I think it's closed because it's Good Friday. So I'm playing Uno and I'm taking L's, L, all week long. She's so used to winning, she finally started losing today. She she lost every game we played today. And then she start tearing up crying. Now me, I grew up with a traumatic childhood. It take a lot for me to be vulnerable and sit here and cry. But it's just like I give my daughter the space to do that because I mean people should be able to do that, right? So, but at the same time, you got to learn how to lose because I can't sit up here and let you win if that's how you act when you lose. And that's what I feel like, long story short, this journey on me coming back in November, trading with the world, and to where I am right now. And what was it today? April? Yeah, April, Good Friday, 2026. I'm supposed to teach the world how to lose so that when you win, you actually appreciate it. Because if you only use the wins, you're not going to appreciate and learn through the losses. And that's why most of the world quit. And then when they see me doing something, they be sitting here in my face thinking that I owe them some shit. And I'm sitting here right now telling you everything that I've been through in life because it's deeper than that. Trading, people start a trading account and call themselves a trader. When trading is really a business. And business is actually a ministry. So really, y'all don't know I talk to God every day. And I wasn't always like that either because I grew up in a very Christian household. Like I'm telling you, my grandma, she faithful prayer warrior. I swear to God. And it's like I remember this this one time I was like 8. She like we watching Care Bears. Y'all heard the movie Care Bears? We're watching Care Bears, and there was like the scene to where they're at the circus, and then it's just like it was like a little bit of evil stuff going on, but nothing crazy. You know, it's the 90s. Like just some green smoke and then booga booga booga, you know, shit like that. I don't even fucking remember the movie. I just remember her reaction to the evil scene in the movie because of how Christian she was. Um, you know, true, like, oh, that's demonic. Broke the tape in half, said a prayer over it. I was scared. She scared me. I didn't know if I wanted to be close to God like that as a kid because I was just like, that was I was afraid. I was afraid. Like, I still cannot. I'm thinking on it like me, like it's like I'm sitting here and I can still imagine my grandma right here in front of me, in front of that big ass box TV, and breaking that bitch in half, breaking that tape in half. Like this shit is evil. Say a prayer over it. Threw that tape away. I never seen Care Bears again. It don't even hit the same. I don't even want to see Care Bears. But it's that experience that I had in that situation that makes me approach situations differently, if that makes sense. Because it's just like people don't know that it takes me a while to trust people, right? And it's just like through our business, I would try to build relationships, and network with different, business people, traders, investors, male, female. But honestly, I know who I am, and I'm more of a thicker skinned female. I don't give a fuck. So most of the time I'm doing business now, and it's always been like this. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's always with men because females around me be really sensitive, but I don't understand that because I'm also a girl's girl. I'll support you, but the cattiness, I don't really do that because I don't know. Like I'm very business minded. Like I used to try to have to decide between, well, I used to think about deciding between housewife or rich wife. And to be honest, you could support your man and still be a businesswoman as well, because I do it all the time. Um, and even in that situation here, in that, me in different environments, I'm going to be a different person, right? To my daughter, I'm mom. I'm also her teacher, right? So I'm gonna handle her differently than I handle someone else. Dude, I'm seeing future husband. I don't, I'm co-pilot. I don't need to be pilot in that situation. I don't even have the need to feel like I need to, if that makes sense. Because if I know that I trust him not to lead me into a ditch, then there's no reason for me to take over unless he can't, like, unless he has like a bad season or something like that. But let's say, for example, even this week we had a disagreement on something and we argued, right? Probably for like 2 days. But then he needed something like his keys got like, I don't know, his car keys got lost, da 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 da. We in crazy argument, damn near broke up, maybe. I don't know, can't remember because it was just like the next day. So it's just like we still mad as fuck, but he can't do this right now. His car fucked up. I got 3 cars. You can use a car. But he not used to girls being like that. But it's just like I know how to react in different environments. I know how to be a server. I know how to be a business owner. I know how to be an employee. You're right. I know how to be a mom. But I'm skilled in doing this before. This is not my first relationship. Aubrey is my first child, and I never had a mom that was competent 100% of the time. So that made me make a different decisions on even when like protection and shit like that. If I'm a child, I feel like I wasn't protected properly. which I wasn't. I'm way more protective, but I also am aware of that. So I know to watch, like to back off. But then it's like, if I say my mom, she, I mean, she took us kind of away from everybody young. So no one caught her illness when things were wrong. I know that's something that I'm never going to do because that's something that I experienced. So then it's like when I know who I am in this world and how to play my parts and role in things that are important to me, and when I have to make an executive decision, because, then it's okay if someone didn't see me start here, but it's like you're watching me sit here and I guess really try to change the industry because there's not people that's normal fucking people like me and still sharing results, if that makes sense. That not the results that I have. And not only that, it's just like trust goes a long way. So like I've tried to like network with people and build business with people, but that's something that comes in-house when you start a business of somebody. It's not something that I would try to take to outside sources anymore because I in my 20s I already did that. So then God, it's almost a matter of I talk to God every day. I listen to the word and that's my version of the daily announcements for myself because I'm a very disciplined person. Like I have a routine, I stick to the routine. The public, I just started allowing back into me. I don't even allow y'all in, it's not y'all not even in the routine. I can add value and mentor a different way than having y'all pay for group mentorship. I'll just group mentorship the world like this and show y'all that I'm gonna teach you everything your mentors know, and then I'm gonna teach you more. And if you want more after that, you can go get that knowledge from me if you would like. Because at this point in time, 2026, people can learn how to trade without having to get on like Instagram. When I was learning how to trade, it was from this book called Naked Forex. I used babypips.com. Um, got on TradingView, set up an account, paid my like $15 a month, and then I start getting on YouTube, looking at charts and shit, and then just typing in what I wanted. But that was a route that took longer, right? But that was me learning my role. I'm still learning my role on YouTube, and it's not gonna look perfect, but when I first started to learn how to trade, it didn't look perfect either. But now it looks perfect, and everyone wants to be what I do. Everyone wants to do what I do, but they don't understand the path they took to get there. Because I did study Elliott waves, I did study Fibonacci, I did look at FVG, I did look at like order blocks, smart money trading, all that shit. And then I was like, don't need it, 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 because it makes shit complicated. I used to use indicators. It makes shit complicated. It's not complicated. It's late. Indicators are late, but I have a preference. So now it's just like when people find me, you have to decide if you are a person that needs indicators. And if you need indicators, I'm not the trader to learn from because I don't use them. If you need Fibonacci, I'm not the trader to learn from because I don't use them. If you need somebody that's gonna be more gentle with you, I'm not the trader to learn from because no, the world wasn't gentle to me. You know what I'm talking about? But if you want some real world facts about this market and about life and then just results, I can do that for you because I have a no BS approach. Any relationship I enter, I'm always gonna come with something, right? Whether the nigga toxic or not, I'm always gonna be fully me because that's the only thing that I know. Because I have to figure out myself in this world a long time ago when I was a kid. But then it's like in business, it's like a different version of myself. I look amazing now. I mean, I look like Naomi, but I look like the goddamn Super Saiyan version of Naomi. But even then, there's another Super Saiyan version of Naomi that is worth a fucking $1 trillion in the future. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's just like I made multi-millions not telling y'all the story, and I'm just not learning the vulnerability part of it, and that's why I wanted to get up here for Good Fridays to show you that it's okay to be fucking normal and trade, but just because you open a trading account don't make you a trader. But once you get profitable enough to be a trader, then it's like you start to see the world a little bit differently. So it's just like I see the world a little bit differently, and it's like if you want to see the world differently, then follow this page, and then I can speak more on it if that makes sense. But it takes a long time for me to trust people, and that's why I think the time is right now because it's like the circle that I have now that made it through with me through that hard season is the best circle I've had. And outside of the circle of friends that I have, and this, I'm talking about a solid hand of the people I can come to for business when shit going wrong, for motivation, or just like a listening ear. That's the circle I have right now. Like, I'm talking about me and shit, a business partner. That's crazy to say. I don't like networking. Y'all ain't go. I don't network with traders. Y'all know me. I don't just be, hey, this person, da 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 da. It take a lot for me to say that because you can't trust people. You can't trust their results. But if I know that what my results are, and I know how I grew up, and I know how many millionaires I created, then it's just like I can trust me. But then it's like if I'm bringing somebody from the outside in, trust. It took him. I've been talking to him for 2 years. My developer and now it's like we finna just take over YouTube because it's like we have the proper systems in place, and that's by the grace of God. Of don't nobody have no bots like I got connected to the accounts because that would solve a lot of the issues. Like demo account gonna say demo account, but when I log into the bots into the signals group, that bot says an account number. And people will be, oh, they can see the account number. It don't fucking matter. You can't get to my back office. And if you can get into that fucking back office, I don't even know how you did that because I could barely get into that bitch sometime. I don't even know. You can't do nothing with no account number and no other fucking information. You know what I'm talking about? So it's just like there is a famine in authenticity and really just showing people the true reality of I'm just a mom that live in the suburbs that got, I mean, shit, I was gonna say a man, but future husband because I walk into that room like that, like a future wife. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's not my nigga. Yeah, I'm not gonna cook. Oh, that's not my nigga. Yeah, I'm not gonna support him. Oh, da 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 da. It it's too much gray for me, and I'm very black and white. I just know how to play my role. But say the relationships that didn't work out with me, I'll play my role until the role was like, hey, you want to continue to be stupid? And then I got to decide from there, do I want to continue? Because but most of my relationships are long term. I'm okay with not being in charge in a relationship. I'm okay with building businesses and supporting where I need to support. But even when, oh, that was what I was gonna say. The guy I'm seeing now, after the fact, I helped. We was in an argument. Argument was just ended because I mean it's about support. It's about showing up whole. I know how I am, and I'm somebody that has helped the world, especially over the last 6, 7, 8 years. And with that being said, if I've taught the world and I know that I have leverage in this world, and some people don't even want to help me when I need something and I've been there for them, I don't ever want to get to a point if he needs something unless I'm just done, done, done. And then I don't support him in that situation and then we just done because it don't feel the same. But I know how that is. Niggas be thinking we still gonna be friends after they say no to some help from me and I help them with everything. Oh, I can't help you, but da 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 da. Oh, hey girl, how's it doing? Oh, how you doing? I knew you was going through a hard phase. Leave me the fuck alone. That's how I am. So I wouldn't even put him in that situation. So long story short, shit fine, shit great. But it's just like financial support, just even though I have like assets and shit like that and can trade, that don't even start until like marriage to me. But everything before that is optional. So it's just like he gonna be like what? Physical therapist? So a doctor or he gonna play football. But either way, the path is great. But he's not where he want to be right now. So he don't tell me that. Like I let him use the car, and then I just like, hey, just whatever gas you use, just put it back, right? Because it's not my job to take care of him. But then at the same time, I can use gentleness in a certain aspect if I'm close enough to you, and be like, well, he didn't tell me he put his last in the car, basically. He didn't say it. So, but I don't know. I'm an empath. I can feel shit. I can feel it. So we in the car, and that's the first time I'm like passenger in the car. I brought it up to him like, I was like, I've been driven around in a long time like this. Like I'm not used to being a passenger. And he laughing, but he still don't say that he put the last in the car until he said he gotta go to Walmart. And he said that he was waiting for his, mom to send him something because he didn't have anything. But then we had just talked about how he put gas in the car, but then I use my common sense and put two and two together. So then I don't say nothing. Then we always say our goodbyes, da da da, and I go home, right? And then he don't know how I am. I'm gonna show up as me completely, whether I'm wife now or not. But that's how I am in the world. Businesswoman. I was a businesswoman before I was a businesswoman. I was me before I was me. I'm her right now, but I was her before I've been her right now. You know what I'm talking about? If I want you close to me, I'm gonna support you in what I feel like you need at the time. So if that's your last, you put 15 in the tank. Okay, cool. Because I mean, I only had a core tank anyway. He actually put more than what I had in there. So I'm appreciative, but it's the fact that he didn't just come to me and say, "My girl got money. I'm not gonna put no gas in the tank." He could have left empty. He didn't do that, right? And he could have asked me for money. He didn't do that either. So you know what I did? I read the room and then I sent him money. And then he like, whoa, you sent me money, da da da. And then I'm like, yeah, have a good weekend, da da da. So on and so forth. So now it's just like the relationship deeper, the relationship closer, because now that trust is built. That trust been built. You know, I don't just do that for people, but that's how I work in business too, because I didn't trust people my whole goddamn life. I couldn't even trust my mama. So it take a minute to get me to trust you. So it's just like once that's in, I'm like, if I know I consider you a future husband, then that's a future husband. If I know that I consider you a future business partner, I'm really just watching for like a couple years, and it's really a couple years. I got a business partner now. We finna build a business together. It's gonna be crazy. Y'all finna see it. But it's like I already have the face. The only thing that I didn't tell y'all was the story of why trading is so important. It really helps you decide who you are, and then after deciding who you are, then you decide what kind of trader you want to be. But if you talk to me personally, I don't think you need to decide you want to scalp, intraday, or swing. I think you need to be all three. But that's me. There's people that's not me and gonna say you don't need to be all three. There's people that only scalp. There's people that only intraday. Some people that only swing. I get it, but they ain't grow up like me. They ain't got the same experiences as me. So the only thing I could do is tell you about my experiences and keep your hopes up on that. You could change your life no matter where you started because I did. And this was my experience through it. And the only thing that kept me going was I was like rock bottom. What is it going to get worse from there? Was it going to get worse? She can't get no worse than the low. And that's how the market worked. The market worked just like your personal life. You got lows and highs in life. You got lows and highs in emotion. Every single low point, shit can't get no worse from there. So it's gonna give you a reason to buy. Every high point, it can always get better, but if you know that your mood regulates like regular and you just happy and you expect to be happy most of the times and you don't expect to be depressed, then you in a regulated move. Like the market is pretty much regulated. So if the market is continuously in an uptrend and we cannot expect the drops in bad news or something, right? We can only expect a good day, not a bad day, then why would you try to why would you try to basically say, "Oh, I'm going to have a bad day." You basically saying the market's going to sell forever. And that's not true because the way you got to know the relationships of being asset minded. If you asset minded, it's going to help you become a better trader because you can't bet on being depressed forever. You got to bet on the day going to get better because the people that bet on it being depressed forever, they 9 times out of 10, God forbid, they end up killing themselves. And that's exactly what you're going to do in the market if you always betting on the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario needs to happen at the highs. Best case scenario always needs to happen at the lows, and then figure out how you regulate your emotions from there, if that makes sense. But it's okay to not, I'm not saying you got to have a bad life to be a great trader. I'm saying I'm a great trader because I had a bad life. So it made me focus a lot more on the details that the influencers are not paying attention to because they don't know to pay attention to it. They can't speak as in depth as I can and give you analogies because like they're just doing it for money and they're not going to want to fail and look stupid because their whole livelihood depends on you thinking they can do it. What I know is I'm starting this account challenge and I have decisions to make. And I mean, I'm also just saying now because I already made the decision. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in signals. I'm going to take 100 to 150,000 by June 1st. If I do not make it to 150,000 from my $100 account in the signals by June 1st, I owe someone in the public $1,000. The challenge is going to be very public. And because the challenge is going to be very public, because I know I can do it, I haven't done it since November, but I know I can do it. Market looks great because I'm going to do it publicly. I'm going to change the rules around. So I got two bots. I got a Forex bot and I have a crypto bot. Thinking about the tools that I have, because the challenge is going to be so public, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the rules because I made the rules. I'm going to use that crypto bot for this challenge, but I'm also going to trade Forex on the crypto bot because really the challenge is for me. But if you can keep up with my entries, you can also do what I do. So I'm gonna start with 100. In the signals at first, I was saying 100 a week, but it just depends. We've been on the same $100 account for 7 days right now. We haven't blown an account in the signals this week, but I'm taking longer term trades. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use the crypto bot because it shows the profit loss better than the Forex bot, and I want it to be properly tracked. So I ain't got nobody in the face like, shut the fuck up. I thought of everything, and it's not about what you think. It's about pleasing God, and He know my heart, and I ain't never done nothing bad to nobody. At the end of the day, and every time I say that shit out loud, good shit happened to me. Last time I said that shit, me and my attorney sitting in the courthouse, and I got felony gun charge, and she want me to take 2 years probation, and I'm like, no, take that bitch to trial, facing 10 years, and I sit there and tell her ass, I say, she mad because she don't feel good, but I ain't know she ain't feel good. That's information I don't know. You don't know there's gonna be a war. That's information you don't know, but you can read technicals. I know my life. I know how, I know, and I know God know my heart. So I'm sitting there in the courthouse. She's saying I'm stupid for not taking the deal, but I'm not stupid because I've been free since I was 24. So what the fuck do I look like checking in for the government for 2 years? I don't answer to nobody. I don't answer to nobody. I'm not finna check in shit. I didn't work hard enough to say that. I don't care. I'm not doing it. And I paid her enough to say this ain't no court appointed attorney. She gonna say no as many times as I want to fucking say no. So she's saying, well, they're not taking anything else. And I said, it look like your ass going to trial then. And she like, oh, well, you would risk 10 years? And I said, lady, I done been through a lot of shit. And all my life, I ain't never done nothing bad enough to go to jail. Ever. Ever, ever. So if you telling me that God has jail in store for my life, then there's somebody I must be ready to meet in jail. Cause that don't make no motherfucking sense. I said, I promise you, I ain't never done enough to go to jail, and I'm a good person. So I bet on God not sending me to jail. I don't give a fuck about the judge, prosecutor, the jury, or your ass. I'm betting God not sending me to jail. I don't care. Because technically, I probably shouldn't have won that case because it was dicey. Because maybe in the situation, maybe in that very moment, it wasn't self-defense, but the entire situation was self-defense. But that one moment of the smack with the pistol was not the self-defense. They would have got me on a technicality. But God got them. They didn't have enough evidence to prove that technicality without a fucking doubt. Keep in mind, their witness, I'm a good person, is my neighbor. Keep in mind, my neighbor is handicapped. I always helped her. I always helped her. I would sweep for her. I would take her trash out. Everything. They don't know they ain't got no witness, but God do. Me and the victim, cool. I was keeping that nigga alive for 5 years, really. And even when we was broke up, I had him as the authorized user on my credit card. I really forgot about it, but that nigga got amazing credit, and out of the five, we was on and off for like two. But I never thought about it. So one day he look up, he see he got good credit. He see that it's my credit card reporting for him. They don't know what I got, just like the world don't. That's why I don't answer to nobody. I've survived more than anybody could ever speak about. And I could tell you something new every single day, never run out of shit to say. So I'm going I'm gonna trade the crypto bot on the challenge account, not the Forex bot because I need to track the whole thing. So until the challenge is done, the crypto bot is gonna have crypto futures and Forex for myself. If you cannot handle that, I don't know what to tell you. Because honestly, I've been trying to get y'all to download the crypto broker anyway, right? Because like you need to use the tools that are out there for you to use. And if you be like, hey, I gotta hang up pictures, but I don't want to use the hammer, I'm gonna say, what are you going to do? And then I'm going to walk away because I don't know what you're going to fucking do. Are you going to use your shoe? It doesn't matter to me. I'm never going to think about it again. So I know some of y'all just learned the last rules that we had on crypto futures was going to be on Liquid, and that was going to be the crypto bot. And then the Forex bot was going to be Midas. But for the challenge, I do need to use the crypto bot. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you're not in the crypto bot, then I don't know what to tell you because between November to April, you've had plenty of time to get there. So I'm just going to begin. Um, Shit not gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna do what I can, and I'm gonna prove myself the entire way because why not? Why not? Why not trade it to 150K? Why not go crazy? Why not show the world you could choose a different choice and be a different person? Y'all may not have like watched me learn how to trade, but you're watching me learn how to be Naomi in front of everyone else because I was off social media for a few months and I'm just not coming back. And I feel great. I'm ready. So I hope y'all are. I hope this was insightful and I hope this kind of helps you decide who you want to show up as in this world because there is a lack of it. And we need more people like me. I can't wait for me and my business partner to show y'all what we've been working on because shit, that's gonna be great too. And it take a long time for me to trust somebody. So understand if I'm partnering with somebody, that person's earned that spot. So other than that, um, I'll catch y'all later.